walk away. Not to hurt her, but to free yourself. Because the moment you walk away, the moment you detach from proving your worth, you flip the entire dynamic. The same woman who once thought she could replace you starts to feel the silence like thunder. Her ego begins to crack, not because she misses you, but because she can't control you anymore. If this hits, drop any emoji in the comments. And if you're building unshakable self-respect, hit subscribe right now. You're watching The Stoic Guy, where we turn rejection into resilience, emotion into strength, and pain into power. Stay till the end, because I'm going to share something that most men never understand about the moment she realizes you're gone for real. Let's begin. 1. The shift in power. It always begins the same way. You give, she takes. You explain yourself, she tests you. You show interest, she pulls away. And for a while, you think that's just how love works. That maybe if you prove yourself more, she'll finally see your value. But here's the truth. Every time you try to prove your worth to someone who doesn't see it, you lose it. The chase kills attraction. The pull of your energy feeds her ego, until one day she doesn't feel the need to respond anymore. And that's where most men break. They beg, they panic, they negotiate. But not you. Not anymore. Because walking away isn't weakness. It's a declaration. I am enough, with or without your validation. 2. Why walking away works. The human ego feeds on control. When she can predict your reactions, when she knows your every move, she feels safe in her dominance. You become predictable, boring, replaceable. But when you withdraw with calm indifference, you destroy her illusion of power. The silence becomes unbearable. She replays every conversation, every text, every moment she dismissed you. And for the first time, she wonders if she was wrong. That's the paradox. Women often realize your value not when you give them more, but when you give them nothing. Because silence forces reflection. Distance exposes dependence. And walking away, when done with purpose, makes your absence louder than your words ever were. If you're still watching this far, it says something about you. You're not just another man looking for cheap tricks. You're someone who wants power built on discipline, not emotion. So do me a favor. If this hits, drop any emoji in the comments. And if you're building the kind of life that no one can walk away from, hit subscribe right now. Because what comes next is the reason she'll regret losing you forever. Let's continue. 4. The transformation phase. Here's what most men don't realize. When you walk away, she doesn't immediately feel regret. At first, she feels relief, freedom even. She tells herself, he'll come back. But as the days pass, that freedom starts to feel empty. Because you're not reacting, you're not chasing, you're not checking her stories or sending late-night messages. You've disappeared. Not in bitterness, but in silence. And in that silence, something starts to shift. She starts to see you differently. Not as the man who begged for her attention, but as the man who outgrew her validation. That's when the tables turn. The moment she sees that you've leveled up, your body, your mindset, your focus, her ego begins to fracture. Because she didn't expect you to move forward without her. And when she realizes that the same silence she once mocked has now made you stronger, she begins to question everything. 5. Growth is revenge. You want revenge? Don't send messages. Don't subtweet. Don't prove anything. Just disappear into your purpose. Build your body until you don't recognize yourself in the mirror. Build your business until you don't need anyone's approval to live how you want. Build your peace until no argument can break it. That's the kind of revenge that leaves a permanent mark. Because while she's scrolling, wondering why you're not reaching out, you're building an empire. And the man who builds becomes unforgettable. The one who walks away with purpose becomes a mystery. And mystery is what pulls her back in. But by then, you're already gone. Not physically, but mentally. And that's what truly breaks her ego. 6. The reverse effect. At first, she thought she was testing your patience. But now, she realizes you were testing her perception. She starts stalking your page, replaying old conversations, even trying to trigger a response. But nothing. Because you've mastered the art of emotional detachment. And here's the secret. Women aren't addicted to love. They're addicted to emotional stimulation. The highs, the lows, the unpredictability. But when you walk away in silence, you remove the stimulation. You take her emotional control away. And suddenly, she's left with her own thoughts. That's when she starts feeling the loss. Because now, she's the one chasing closure. And closure is something she'll never get. Because you've learned that peace is found in detachment, not explanation. 7. The ego collapse. Her ego starts to whisper, "Why isn't he fighting for me?" Then it screams, "Did I really mean nothing to him?" It's the turning point, when she realizes the power has shifted. She's no longer in control of the narrative. You are. She'll test the waters with a text, maybe a story post meant for your attention, or a random, "Hey stranger, don't bite." Because every time you reply, you rebuild her ego. The silence isn't punishment. It's evolution. You're not ignoring her to hurt her. You're ignoring her because you've outgrown the need for her validation. If you've made it this far into the video, you're not just watching. You're transforming. You're part of the few who understand that walking away is not about ego. It's about reclaiming your peace. So pause for a moment. Hit subscribe. Because the rest of this video will show you how to keep her chasing even after she realizes what she lost. And there is a little story at the end that is very crucial to listen. Trust me when I say, listen to the story. It will change how you think. 8. The psychology of regret. Regret doesn't hit her when you walk away. It hits when she sees who you've become. When she realizes the man she took for granted has now become the man every woman wants. Her ego doesn't just break, it shatters. Because she thought you'd stay waiting. She thought you'd crumble. But you did the opposite. Regret comes in silence, when she's lying awake at 2 a.m., scrolling through your progress, realizing she's now just another name in your story. And the worst part? She can't undo it. That's the real consequence of losing a man who walks away with grace. She doesn't just lose love. She loses access. 9. The legacy mindset. Most men move on to prove something. Stoic men move on to become something. And that's the difference. You don't heal to show her what she missed. You heal because you refuse to stay broken. You don't build to flex on her. You build because it's your nature to grow. And when she finally realizes that your silence wasn't a tactic, it was a transformation, she'll never look at you the same way again. You've become what she can't manipulate. You've become peace. And peace is more powerful than passion. Because real power doesn't shout, it radiates. It's in the calm way you move now. The discipline in your routine, the silence that speaks louder than any apology she could ever give. You're no longer trying to be the man she wanted. You've become the man you were meant to be. And that version of you, she'll never have access to again. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who gave everything, his time, his energy, his peace, to make her feel loved. He thought effort would earn him loyalty. But one day she left. No warning, no reason, just silence. At first, he fell apart. He scrolled through old messages, overanalyzed every word, replayed every conversation, trying to figure out what he did wrong. But the truth was simple. She didn't leave because he wasn't enough. She left because he gave too much. One night, staring at the ceiling, it clicked. If she can walk away that easily, maybe I was meant to outgrow her. So he started small. Early mornings at the gym, cleaner habits, reading instead of scrolling. Each day, he rebuilt himself quietly, not for her, but for him. Weeks turned into months, and the man she once knew disappeared. Then, one day, she came back. A message. "Hey, it's been a while." He saw it, smiled, and left it on read, not from hate, but peace, because the man she left behind was gone. He didn't need her validation anymore. He had found something far greater, himself. And when she finally saw him again, she said, "You've changed." He smiled and replied, "No, I just stopped chasing what was never meant for me." That was the day she broke, not because she lost him, but because she realized she'd never meet that version of him again. Then he walked away, calm, grounded, unshaken. And that was the moment she broke. Not because she lost him, but because she realized she'd never have access to that version of him again. That's what walking away really means. It's not revenge. It's rebirth. And that, my friend, is what walking away truly means. It's the quiet transformation that turns pain into purpose and leaves them wondering how they ever thought they could replace you. If you made it all the way here, respect. You're not like the rest. You're someone who's learning to turn pain into purpose. So before you leave, hit that subscribe button and keep building your strength. Not for her, not for revenge, but for yourself. Because every time you choose silence over chaos, growth over reaction, and purpose over validation, you're walking the Stoic path. Keep thinking, keep watching, and above all, keep evolving. And if you're ready to walk away and never look back, welcome to the Brotherhood.